Yes, thanks so much. Good evening to everybody. On behalf of Philosophy family, I extend a hearty welcome to all the scholars and teachers of philosophy and other disciplines to be associated with the virtual academic program of Philosophy family, like all Sundays. Today, we have two speakers in this evening in this Sunday webinar. In the past session, we have with us Dr. Srinivasan K. Iyer to speak on a new area of philosophy reflection in Indian philosophy, the concept of Prasankhyana. And the second session, we have with us Dr. Akhil Jayasri. She will speak on yoga and naturopathy. So, on this auspicious occasion, we extend hearty welcome to all the viewers of philosophy family. Hence, before going to invite Dr. K. Srinivasan Iyer, it's my pride privilege to speak a few words on his academic journey. Uh, but he needs no introduction. Dr. Srinivasan Iyer is very popular to philosophy family. He's a regular participant in philosophy family, and he has his expertise in Sankhya philosophy. He's a brilliant research scholar in Sankhya Darshan, and you know he has contributed many talks both in national and international forums and has strengthened the new philosophical dimension with us. His commitment and love for philosophy and philosophical discussion has inspired us. So, in this Sunday webinar, I don't want to speak much of his introduction. His love for philosophy, his love for wisdom, and his love for philosophical discussion is very much praiseworthy. So today, I extend my gratitude to him for being associated with us. Today, my welcome goes to Professor Dr. K. Umnan Rao, the regular moderator of Philosophy Family. My welcome goes to Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the host, the convener, and the main architect of Philosophy Family, who has connected all of us with us. So today, I once again extend my welcome to all the senior teachers of philosophy and the students of philosophy to be with us. And with this, in the past session, I request Dr. Dr. Srinivasan K. Iyer to commence his speech on the concept of Prasankhyana. Over to Professor Srinivasan Iyer.
Pranams to all. Namaste. A small prayer, a silent prayer within my mind. Gurave Namaha. Good evening, my philosophy family friends, professors, newcomers, intellectuals, and other, I mean, inspirers or love for this family. A great pranams to all. And today's topic is about the concept of Prasankhyana. So it is a very puzzling word, and it is going to be a very interesting subject also. The word etymology, the prasamkhya, means to enumerate or to count or reflection and consideration. This is the meaning given by Sanskrit dictionary as well as Monier Williams dictionary. The Samkhyana para means engrossed or absorbed in meditation. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, chapter 4, 29th sloka, the great Maharishi coins this word prasankhya, prasamkhyana or prasankhya. This I will discuss threadbare during the course of this session. In Sutra 2.26 in Patanjali Yoga, Patanjali explains about Vivekyadi. Vivekyadi means obtaining the discriminatory power, what is good and what is evil, and to understand the absolute knowledge, that is Vivekyadi. One may find Prasamkhyana or Parisamkhyana in Sri Adi Shankara's Upadesa Shakashri, Gadgabandha and Padyabandha. But he uses the term called Parisamkhyana, not Prasamkhyana, Parisamkhyana. That is in a different context. But having told about Sri Shankaracharya, he is an avatar of Sri Lord Shiva, I have nothing to say about, criticize about him or so, because he is such a great sage. But ultimately, he has rejected the word prasamkhyana in Patanjali Yoga Sutra or Nyaya Bhashya or Vaiseshika philosophy. This is a very big subject, making arguments and counter arguments. And also, this word has been criticized by not lesser a person than Sri Sureshwaracharya, the hardcore disciple of Sri Adi Shankara, and he did not agree with the meaning of the Prasamkhyana in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and he rejected it totally. He has mentioned the same in his Naiskarme Siddhi. But today I am going to stick on to only giving explanation about Prasamkhyana relating to Patanjali Yoga Sutra and not anything else. Though they are all very interesting subject, it produces arguments and counter arguments, especially in Upadesa Sahasri and Naiskarme Siddhi. I am not going to take up that because for paucity of time, since I have been given only 45 minutes, but even then I am going to discuss only about Prasamkhyana in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And that too I will complete it in 20 to 30 minutes, not more than that. Because it is just sufficient if I am able to make the professors understand and comment about it or ask some clarifications, then that will be explained. In this respect, it is just sufficient if I proceed with the Prasankhyana coined by Sri Patanjali Maharishi in his Yoga Sutra, chapter 4, 29th sloka. The ultimate point here is the liberation of Purusha. That means from duality to non duality. Sankhya is a dualistic philosophy, so also the Patanjali Yoga Sutra is a dualistic philosophy, but he differs at one point when he said tapaswadhyaya ishvara pranidhanani. He says tapas, contemplate, concentrate, meditate, and then swadhyaya is to read the scriptures, analyze, and ultimately surrender to God. The philosophy of God has been brought here by Sri Patanjali Maharishi. So, this is not a Nirishwaravada, and that is why this philosophy has been included in Shaddarsanas. So, this is an orthodox philosophical, nature. In this respect, he has the confidence to that the yogi should surrender to God, but he did not mention which God. Ultimately, we know that it is only Parabrahman in the causal reality. In the empirical reality, we worship many gods and goddesses like Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Goddess Saraswati, Durga Lakshmi Saraswati, etc. But wherein, in the final state of the causal reality, the Purusha is liberated to non dualism called merging with Parabrahman or Brahman. That is why the Advaita philosophy says Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaivana Apara. So it is a different subject altogether. But this is the crux of the subject which I would like to highlight, that Prasankhyana is very clearly told by, Patanjali Maharishi without any ambiguity, without any interpretation, and without any argument in chapter 4, 29th sloka. That sloka I will just discuss when I deal with that. We find the word Prasamkyana in Kumara Sambhava also. Also in Mahabharata it is mentioned Prasamkyana. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita also the word is being coined. In Yoga Sutra Bhashya we will analyze this. According to Nyaya Bhashya 4.2.2, this is used in the sense of correct consideration. Consideration of what? Consideration to acquire the complete knowledge, the right knowledge. Tattvajnana. What is the Tattvajnana? It is to annihilate the Mithya that is to eliminate the wrong knowledge, especially the right knowledge of the self. So the Purusha understands finally the true nature of the self, that this is not the place for me to get, I should say, locked up with the Prakriti, and let me understand and try to, move forward towards Kaivalya, liberation, and finally attain the moksha of unification with the Brahman. That is complete knowledge of the self. According to Nyaya Bhashya, the right knowledge destroys the wrong knowledge, which leads to transmigration of the self from the non-self. Anatmani Atmagara, Atmagraha, Vachaspati Mishra in Nyayavartika Tatparyatyha 4.2.2, he bears he bears a different tone. He interprets Prasankhyana as the right knowledge generated by meditation concentration. Samadhijam Tattvajnanam, he says. So, what Patanjali says is aptly described by Vachaspati Mishra also. But in Vaiseshika philosophy, it differs from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and they write that the word prasamkhyana for the consideration of six categories of what? Sat Padartha. That is Tattvajnanam, he says. Therefore, we may say that prasamkhyana generally means correct knowledge, correct consideration in or not in meditation to acquire the right knowledge. He has given a mere precise definition of prasamkhyana in Yoga Sutra. It contains a definition of without any explanation of the word except a reference in Sutra 4.29. The Sutra says, Prasankyane Sidasya Sarvada Vivekyadir Dharma Mega Samadhi. So the meaning of this Dharma Mega Samadhi and the Prasamkhyana is explained here. That means the thorough and complete knowledge. Pra, as we call Prakash, pra, sum is the intensity of the whole kya. Kya is art of knowledge. And prasanya pi, prasamkhyana api means even. Akusida, that means not taking undue interest or benefit. Sarvada, in every way. Viveka, discriminatory power between the good and the evil. Khyati is knowledge. So, Dharma Mega Samadhi is a cloud of virtues. Nature of the state of it is the nature of the stage of Samadhi. What exactly is required to be qualified? Prasamkhyane api akusidya sarvata vivekikyadir dharma mega samadhi. Three compound words. Yoga sadhak needs strong level of detachment, concentration, and not attached to the process of samyama or samapatti, not attached to vivekakyadi also. And he says that the Purusha has to realize that this body is not his nature. Three gunas does not belong to the Purusha. The Panchakoshas are not his nature. The Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara are also not his nature. The five elements are not in his hands, are not in his nature. Pancha Indriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Tanmatras are also not his. He is the self. He is the pure Purusha. He is the self conscious. And this is the meaning of the non duality from duality. We see the Viveki obtains Tattvajnanam and he is devoid of any vasanas, residual seeds, impressions which are roasted, and this elevated state is a permanent state which leads him to Dharma Mega Samadhi. Dharma Mega Samadhi means the cloud of virtues. It is a pre qualified step towards Kaivalya Samadhi. Before that, there is Nirbija Samadhi also. The Nirbija Samadhi is where the Purusha is totally free. The mind is totally free, absolutely free. There is no karma, there is no guna, there is no vasanas and seeds, everything is roasted. So it becomes a nirbija samadhi, a changing state of consciousness which leads him to Kaivalya, Dharmamika Samadhi to Kaivalya Samadhi. So the Purusha by nature is beyond gunas, time and space, which are unnecessary, and this Purusha is happy without birth and death. Prakriti receives Shakti from Purusha, and the body suffers pain and pleasure, which is the way through the three gunas strive hard for the release of Purusha for liberation. This is the Viveka and this can be found in Srimad Devi Bhagavatam about the three gunas which are promoting, which are coordinating, which are helping, and they are, they are also cooperative to promote Purusha to attain liberation. This Viveka can be obtained as in Patanjali Yoga Sutra 1.12, where he says, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tannirodha. What is Abhyasam? Abhyasam is consistent practice, continuous practice, without attachment, which is Vairagyam. The yogi must have Viveka Vairagyam. Sri Adi Shankara also said in Atma Bodha, I believe, I am not very sure if it's Atma Bodha or some other, poetry in which he says, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaka. So you must be able to find out what is permanent and what is not permanent. But in the present world, we always seek permanency through impermanency. We know that neti neti, everything doesn't belong to me at all. But we never think that way. We want to have enjoyment, we want to have pleasure, and we want to fly high. This is the way the life is going, which is very sad indeed. Unfortunately, that not all of us can understand, only a few can, really understand this and strive hard to reach that state. And this is Abhyasa Vairagya form, Tannirodhaka. Automatically it stops if you practice the Abhyasam with Vairagyam. Vairagyam, I am reminded of uh, 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 Sri Bhatruhari's Satakatrayam, where he quotes in Vairagyam about Vairagya about in 100 slokas that one can find. So also Saint Ganeshwar has quoted, has spoken very well about Vairagyam and Abhyasam and Vivekam. Without, it is consistent practice without attachment, which is Vairagyam. The yogi must have Viveka Vairagyam and not a mere Sankalpam. It is not just like a Sankalpam we make and then we forget the next moment as we do Tarpanam. It is not like that. This Abhyasam and Vairagyam keeps destroying the kleshas. What are those kleshas? The Pancha kleshas. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha and Abhinivesha. These things have to be eliminated. And these vriddhis are developing. It is a never-ending process as long as the Purusha is attached with the Prakriti. And the kleshas have to be removed. The panchakoshas will automatically get relieved. The karmas also get liberated once we make the Abhyasa Vairagya Pamtanya. And that is why in the beginning of the first chapter, Sri Patanjali Maharshi speaks about the quality of mind. In the first chapter, second sloka, he says, Chitta Vriddhi Nirodha. So the mind is susceptible for modifications. It is a oscillating mind, a turbulent mind, a disquieting mind. So this mind destroys the buddhi. The buddhi succumbs to that, and the human beings they started behaving in that manner according to their gunas going in the wrong way. And this has to be eliminated. And Sankhya philosophy says that these sufferings can be eliminated if only you have knowledge. Knowledge means what? Is the question. Not all can understand this knowledge, but only a few. The knowledge of the evolution theory. The evolution theory of Sankhya has 24 tattvas. Each one of the tattvas has to be memorized, has to be understood, has to be realized, and finally, you get into the kind of yoga practice. I'm sorry, there's a kind of burping. And this has to be destroyed and understood by reading the evolution theory of Sankhya. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra 1.16, he speaks about paravairagyam. What is that paravairagyam? Tatparam purushayakto gunavaitrushanam. Understanding myself as Purusha, he remains unattached with the three gunas. He speaks about Prasankhyana very elaborately in 4.29. Prasankhyana means fire or burning. Meditation has the power of resembling fire to kill all the afflictions, kleshas, vasanas, karmas, seeds, etc. Yoga Sutra Bhashya has a different interpretation. It has a magical power similar to tapas. By Viveka Jnana, the yogi sacrifices everything through detachment and finally attains kaivalya or liberation. This is the essence of prasamkhyana. And now let me say that prasamkhyana means that discriminative discernment should be restrained in the non-conscious concentration. That is, when you reach the samadhi state, which has 10 steps. The first one is sampragyata samadhi, which is conscious feeling, and the second one is asampragyata samadhi, which is non-conscious feeling. The conscious feeling of sampragyata samadhi has four states. That is savichara samadhi, nirvichara samadhi, savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, sabija samadhi, nirbija samadhi, ananda samadhi, asmika samadhi, and finally the dharmamega samadhi. This way only a yogi can attain his liberation or moksha or kaivalya. Unless and until he practices prasamkhyana, the deep meditative contemplative state, it is not possible for ordinary person to reach even beyond the sampragyata samadhi. And this is I want to emphasize very strongly here. The non-conscious concentration is called asampragyata samadhi, where nothing is perceived. Consequently, we understand that discriminative discernment is knowledge which arises the conscious concentration. That is the lower state of the mind compared to the non-conscious concentration. According to Yoga Sutra 147 and 48, the knowledge that arises in the highest clarity is called Vaisaradhya. Vaisaradhya of conscious concentration is called Rithambara. Rithambara is truth-bearing insight. The insight works towards things not known by worldly means of knowledge, things such as self, purusha, or sub-material elements like Panchabhutas, Bhuta, Bhuta Sukshamas. So initial inferential knowledge and scriptural knowledge is obtained. The later two have universal samanya as their object. One of the means of valid knowledge is pramana. Vidambra pragyana is understood to be a result of yogic perception, yogi pratyaksha. Thus, discriminated enlightenment can be understood as a result of yogic perception. This is what I mean. Uh, in this chapter, Sri Patanjali Maharishi has discussed about the Prasankhyana in its concept of uh, the samadhi state, where a deep meditation, deep penetration in meditation is required to attain liberation to Kaivalya. And this is what I want to share. At the same time, I would like to highlight about the psychedelics. Psychedelics are not prasamkhyana. It is not a meditative, meditative placement, because the psychedelics is these foreigners they use the drugs called ayahuasca, hashish, opium, and ganja, and these are found enormous quantity in the Amazon forest, where you find little kuddles or little, I mean, caves wherein the drug addicts, I mean, they just go and smoke and enjoy and forget and then lie down. And when you smoke ayahuasca, which is the most dangerous phentamine or chemical substance, you are not sure of coming back to, alive, nature, because it might take you out of your life, may be lost. So the psychedelics are not to be recommended here, not to be compared with the samadhi state. The samadhi state is possible only by yogi and not by all these, happy goers like uh, I have forgotten the exact name, the hedonic people. So it is not possible. The hedonists always use the drug and get lost. Finally, they are lost. And this is why there is a great battle going on in Afghanistan for, for cultivating opium and exporting to, South American states and selling them at large, huge prices for their, destruction. This is the difference between psychedelics and prasamkhyana. And with this, I just, come to the conclusion of this prasangam or speak and speech. And the further proceedings about this prasamkhyana in Upadesha Shakashri, Gatkabandya and other one is Naiskarmya Siddhi will be discussed earlier, because it is very interesting, producing arguments and counter arguments. And I thank you very much for your patient listening, and thank you one and all for this opportunity given to me. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Srinivasan Iyer sir, for your very conceptual clarification and conceptual analysis on a very new dimension of philosophical thinking, that is the concept of Prasankyan. And it's a
Prasadhyana.
Prasankyan. And actually, though this concept is derived from a Patanjali Yoga Sutra mentioned in chapter 4, which is a reflection of meditation, swadhyaya, and surrender to God, and which seems to be a transformation from duality to the duality to non-duality. And you have also very clearly um, reflected that and this concept is also very much reflected and mentioned in Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Nyaya Vaisheshika, and Vairagya Shatakam, and other scriptures. And you have very clearly said that it is a correct consideration or vivek to that is to attain any kind of right knowledge, or so to say, the complete knowledge. And you said that you have also mentioned different kind of sampratanga samadhi, which a yogi can attain for liberation. And you have also mentioned that a yogi must cultivate and concentrate on viveka vedakya, and by which all kinds of kleshas can be removed, and a man can attain, a yogi can attain the true freedom or the liberation in life. Thanks so much, sir, for your very clear reflection on the new concept. And now I request Professor Dr. K. Rao to carry on the question answer session. Over to Dr.
Yes, sir.
Rao.
Let us move to the second speaker and finally we can have discussion.
Okay,
Dr.
okay, okay.
Kailash Manak.
Okay. So uh, we'll have the question session.